Hey guys! This video is the second part of my social anxiety thing. I decided to make one more video because I became aware of some more issues I didn't talk about in the previous one. Before watching this, I highly recommend watching the first part. You will learn what social anxiety is really about, how is it different than shyness and introversion, what are its consequences, symptoms, reasons. And also, in the first part, I shared with you my experience as a person with social phobia and showed examples how it affects me and my life. So, some time ago, I realized that I have a problem with distinguishing if somebody has positive attitude to me or not, if they are just joking or are mean and want to hurt me. And in most cases, I assume that it's the negative one. I do tell the difference when people say things to others. I often laugh together with them and don't see this as offensive, and neither do those people to whom it is addressed. However, I can't do it that easily when it's directed to me. I take everything personally and often get offended. It's not the case with my friends, because I know them, their sense of humor, and most importantly, I know that they like me. This problem appears in relations with people who I don't know that well. Sometimes I'm not extremely sensitive and I'm like, haha, laughing with people, etc. But sometimes I really do overthink comments and jokes about me. Now I want to present you a few examples, the most problematic ones. In the first video, I talked about 3 people, a girl, a boy, and a manager from my previous job with whom I couldn't talk because of my anxiety. A long time ago, when I started working there, I posted a picture on Instagram with my name tag on a lanyard with hashtag break, hashtag work, this kind of things. I wrote that there were a lot of people and I added hashtag Armageddon. At the time, I already had some people following me on Insta, for example, my manager. I think I later added hashtag Armageddon on Snapchat when I snapped from this job, but only that boy could have seen this. Those 3 people are friends with each other, so whatever. And later, like way later on Facebook staff conversation, the manager wrote something like, "We made this amount of money in 2 days. We are working hard. What a crazy shit," as Natalia said, hashtag Armageddon. And by the way, Natalia is my name. And somebody even added a laughing emoji to it. And I was like, oh my god, is it positive or negative towards me? Are they laughing at me because I said that? Maybe I shouldn't have posted this photo with this hashtag. Should I delete it now? No, it doesn't make sense because they have seen it already. And all the time I wasn't sure if it was supposed to be mean and something negative. And at one point I wanted to ask them in this conversation, but this idea was dumb. Imagine me writing, "Are you laughing at me? Is it mean?" Ridiculous. They will probably think I'm stupid and there's something wrong with me, because I don't know that it was. Yeah. Till this day, I'm not sure if she wrote that in a good or in a bad way. There was also a situation when I posted on Insta stories pictures of lipstick which I wanted to sell. And the day or 2 after it, at work I dropped a box of security tags and the boy said something like, "Just Jesus and Mary, are you alright, Natalia?" And then I don't even remember the first part of what he said after, but it was something like, "You should have done something instead of selling lipsticks on Instagram." The first part was apparently not important if I can't recall it at all, but the second part offended me and I found it extremely rude. I remember that I was mad at him because he said about those Insta stories, and then everybody got to know that I wanted to sell lipsticks. He doesn't even follow me on Insta, the manager does, and they are friends. I didn't say anything, Then that girl asked what lipsticks, but I was too angry to answer her. The reason I was that mad was because then everybody looked at me and they learned about those lipsticks, as if it was private or a secret. But it wasn't. And the more I think about it, the more I realize that I'm way different on the internet and in real life. On the internet, I'm more myself, but in real life, I hide everything and I'm ashamed of my online activity because I'm scared of people's reactions. If somebody mentions my blog or, God forbid, YouTube, I would also be mad because I start to think that if they know, they for sure think that this is trash and I am a trash. Nobody knows about YouTube besides my close friend, I hope. There are lots of examples with those three people because they unintentionally showed me that I have a problem with myself, bigger than I thought. And this will be the last example for today, connected with taking everything personally and seriously. Recently, I watched this girl's Insta stories when she was with her best friend in Czech Republic. And the first thing, in one of her short videos, her friend went her into the frame and she said to her, "But don't go into my frame." Oh my god. Something like this. And the second thing, the manager commented that she liked this girl's Insta stories and Czech Republic was a beautiful city. And they laughed at it. I thought it was mean and she would hurt me if she said this to me. And then I realized that it wasn't mean at all. And first of all, it wasn't meant to hurt them because she wouldn't on purpose say anything malicious to make her friends feel bad. And then it came to my mind that they all have specific type of humor. They are very direct, and it is not supposed to make anybody feel bad on purpose. Thank God I haven't made friends with them yet, because I would have been this annoying and always offended person who nobody likes. I hate myself for taking everything seriously and personally. I really don't want my behavior to lead to situations when people will be careful while saying things to me. I want them to treat me like everyone else, but sometimes maybe they should tell me that something was meant to be positive, not negative towards me, or at least that they like me or something. And now let's talk about maybe the reasons for my irrational behavior. But first, with my best friends, I feel comfortable and don't feel the pressure to behave perfectly as I feel being with people who I don't know that well. And I feel like a part of me is missing. This part which should be responsible for support, comfort, warmth, love. And recently I realized that whenever I make a mistake, do something in the wrong way, say something wrong, it's a total tragedy for me. The less I'm friends with certain people, the more remarkable a mistake seems to be for me. I also worry much more when I'm alone than when I'm with my close friends. I have one best friend who always improves my mood with positivity, joking, laughing, and I become a different person, more positive because of my friend. But the more I'm alone, the more I'm stressed with simple social situations, the more I think about being judged, and the more I hate myself in every way possible. I would like to be this positive person who I am with my friends or friend, but I can't find in me this support for myself. I don't want to need my friends to help me feel good. I want to be like this all the time, for myself. But instead I always hear a voice in my head telling me that I did this wrong and that should have been done differently. I judge myself for saying something, not saying something, doing this, not doing that. And I need somebody who would care about me, who would tell me that it's okay and that I shouldn't worry about things and it's not the end of the world when I make a mistake. I know it should be me instead of this somebody, but it's very hard and almost it was impossible because I think negatively about myself. So I wanted to talk about the reasons of this whole thing. So the reason I think is my mom. Some time ago I was really eager to talk about all of this, but now I tend to hide it because I feel weak, worse, and like a loser when somebody knows about my past, my secrets. Anyway, since elementary school, my mom called me names. According to her, I have always been a bad pupil, even though I had good grades. Everybody was always better than me at something, and nothing I did was enough. The worst was probably when she was nice and caring, I trusted her, and then, suddenly, she said something rude about me. She often behaves this way, so I started to be extremely careful about what I say to her, because she can twist everything to be my fault. Gradually, I stopped talking with her about my issues and many more things, and I tell her only those very important ones, if I have to, even though I still live with her. So my mom always judges my choice, my appearance, clothes, like everything she can about me. And in most cases, everything is bad, wrong, or ugly. Believe me, even though you can think that you are right, that you do like what you choose, and you're happy about what you choose and what you like and about your decisions. But hearing such comments for many years, every fucking day, you start having doubts. And those doubts are with you forever. I described this in general terms and I could stop right here, but if we are on this topic, I would like to say one more thing. As long as I wasn't 18, I couldn't go out without an adult, unless to a shop nearby. I had to come back home straight away from school. I couldn't meet my friends neither after school nor at the weekends. Even on holiday, I wasn't able to go out with anyone. I was arguing with my mom about it, but nothing could change her decision. I was often lonely and moved aside at school because of this. My mom explained herself that she did this for my own good and she didn't want anything to happen to me. However, now I can see that she did this to her own convenience. She's very overprotective and didn't want to lose control over me. I often felt like her dog because she didn't pay attention to my feelings at all. At one point I started to feel really bad and I ended up having severe depression for 2 years. It was a hell, but this video is not about it. Only my dad noticed that something was wrong with me, but he hasn't done anything to help me with it. I mean, I don't blame him. He also had a hard time. But my mom didn't give a fuck. She still mentally abused me every fucking day. Honestly, nobody cared about how I felt at school, and nobody tried to help me, even though some of them knew about my problems, because they read my old blog. Now this shit doesn't bother me that much, but all of this unfortunately had an influence on who I am today. The worst thing right now is that I feel inferior to others. I think about myself in a very negative way. I worry about other people judging me, and I can't easily talk with people who I care about without being stressed over their reactions. And I think that it's all for this video. Sorry for this unattractive frame, but I don't want to show my face, especially in such videos when I talk. And I have crooked teeth. And I want to be kind of anonymous, even if I'm not, because you can see on Instagram how I look. But still. So, You can subscribe to my channel if you want. I appreciate it very much. And see you in my next video. And also, I read all of this from 5 pieces of paper because I wrote it and I wanted this video to be very fluent. And yeah, I had to prepare all of this. So thank you guys for watching and see you in my next video. Bye guys.